Back again, Chef's Kiss. It's Pete and John. What's up, John?
What's up, buddy? You gonna take that call from your wife or what?
I'm not. She just called like as soon as I press record.
Be like,
I got a
honey,
call.
priorities, the pod.
I
Come
mean,
on.
yeah. I'm just gonna text her. I'm recording right now. Just started. So that's that.
There you go. There's two rules in my house now. I'm not allowed to talk about my podcast because my wife's sick of hearing it.
In your
I'm also
house?
yeah, I'm not allowed to talk about the podcast, and then I'm also not allowed to talk about my softball stats. Those are two items that I'm no longer allowed to talk about just because I can go on.
And on about that.
Yeah,
John,
on
we
and on
have
about it.
some breaking news here. I literally just got a text message from my buddy in regards to what we're going to start talking about. But breaking news from John Zagol, I guess. Zagol. He's a sports columnist for Talk Sports Chicago. Breaking news. According to sources familiar with the situation, both Hallis Hall and Alan Williams' home have been raided in connection with an undisclosed incident. Alan Williams' home was raided Sunday night after the team's Week 1 loss. Hallis Hall was raided this morning.
Whoa.
What is this in regards to?
What does raided mean? Like stolen? Like people stole stuff?
Oh my gosh. I'm reading some of the comments here, and I don't want to get too far ahead of it, but it looks like possibly the FBI is involved about something on his computer. Hearing some other guys are saying hearing similar reports. I got to see if we can find anything on Alan Williams.
Man, the hits just keep on coming for the Bears.
Matt Eberflus won't say when or if the Bears defensive coordinator Alan Williams will return. He denies to answer whether if he's coming back or not. His absence from Bears just took a dark turn. I don't want to put out any kind of false claims or anything, but if you can read this Twitter thread, it's pretty dark with what he's being possibly accused of. But obviously Hallis Hall has been raided, and his home was raided. FBI possibly getting involved, so you can kind of put some things together as how serious this is. But that's incredibly weird. Hopefully we'll get some more information on this as it's developing. John, you can let me know if you see anything else. Obviously,
I'm reading like all the tweets. I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe it has to. No, that's not funny. John, our first topic. This is obviously. I mean, this just took me by surprise. So I'm sorry if I'm a little off here, but
well, I mean, it parlays perfectly in what we're talking about. It's the Chicago Bears debacle.
It's getting worse as
which I didn't think was humanly possible. I did not think this Bears situation could get any worse. And then this Alan Williams news breaks,
and now the FBI is involved.
Not great. Not great if you're a Bear fan. We didn't have high expectations, but this is considerably worse. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about.
This is the second breaking news from the Bears today.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw the quotes and the presser from Justin Fields. That was, the biggest news as of 5 minutes ago, and now we have this.
So the presser with Fields talked at length about it. It was actually on a family text thread. And he essentially said, not feeling like myself. I know how to play this game. I've been very robotic, which is a term he used. And they're like, well, what is it? Why do you think that is? And he goes, coaching. Coaching. But he goes, I know how to play this game. And he goes, F it. I'm just going to play this game. And then in my family text thread, they were like, all right, Justin, like, let's go, speaking the truth. And then my takeaway, because he goes, so much information, blah, blah, blah. And then I wrote back, I go, takeaway, I can't process a lot of information and survey the field, so I'm just going to run whenever I want. And then the outcome of that, as we know, is a losing season. You can be the leading rusher, but it doesn't equate to wins because the NFL, if you're a quarterback, is predicated on the pocket passer. It's interesting. Like no one, Greg Olson pointed this out, which I thought was interesting. He goes, no one cares about your completion percentage anymore. It's kind of like batting average in baseball. They care about big plays down the field, deep throws. So the the equivalent of like OPS, on base and slugging percentage. Like, so what if your completion percentage is high? It's a bunch of screen passes. So it's not great in Hallis Hall. He's not doing well. It looks like a combination of a couple of things. One, poor coaching, just not setting him up for success. Two, he's totally in his head. And three, he's just limited as an NFL quarterback. He's not seeing the field. I've seen several Twitter recaps of like the whole field and him just either not letting it rip or just not seeing it quick enough. So I just think there's an issue with him seeing the field. And if he chooses to say F it, that's great. That's fine. I think that's what you should utilize him for. But his shelf life is going to be short, and it will not equal wins. So is it too early to talk about tanking for Caleb Williams?
Both of these things can be true, right?
I think they are.
Justin Fields is not the quarterback we thought he was. And then also the coaching is terrible, okay? There's no way that you can tell me if the Bears drafted Patrick Mahomes that he would have the same career that he's having in Kansas City. The Bears kill quarterbacks. They kill them. They take them out in the shed, behind the shed, and they murder them. They murder talent with terrible play calling. We see it week in and week out, okay? This is what I didn't like, was Justin Fields calling out his coaching staff, okay?
That was bad.
I understand.
You can't do that.
You can't do that, especially when you're playing as bad as the way that you are.
Yes.
If you were playing better or you're making these throws downfield and we see the video of you looking at defense, reading a defense, going through your progression, and then you say that, I can say, all right, this kid's trying to ball out and he's being limited, but you are not doing that, and then you throw your coaches under the bus because you are also playing very poorly.
Absolutely. Let us make that assessment. Let the media, not that we're the media, but like...
We are the media. The internet is the media now,
yeah, that's
John.
true.
The internet is Hollywood now.
That's pretty much it. We're big time media. Like, let us make that determination. Let us make that assessment. But you, as the quarterback and the leader of that team, you got to take responsibility. You got to take the heat when things aren't going well, and you take all the praise when things are going well. But you cannot say coaching. You cannot utter those words, and he did. It is the coaching, but he's playing like shit. He is not processing information quick enough. He's not making the right reads. He's not hitting guys downfield. He's making poor decisions. And the game looks so fast to him right now that he's just like, forget it. Like, I just want to run and be athletic and do those types of things, which is fine. That's what he did last year. And he was really successful. He's a great fantasy quarterback. But that does not equate to wins. And
it shows his immaturity,
yes.
That he's making comments like this, because every player knows, every NFL professional knows that you keep that shit in-house. If it is the coaching, that's between you two. I think the Philadelphia Eagles do a very good job at that. Sometimes there's spats on the sideline. Sirianni comes out immediately. That's nothing you guys need to know about. You don't need to know about that. Like, that stuff stays in-house. Also, let's look at the Bears' play calling, okay? So you have Khalil Herbert, 7 carries. Roschon Johnson, 4 carries. Roschon Johnson had a 29-yard rush during that game. He got the ball 4 times for 32 yards. So you see 16 rushes here between Herbert, Johnson, Justin Fields, and Velus Jones. They abandoned the run and now are leaning way too much on Justin Fields, who is very limited, to a team who had the most rushing yards last season. Chicago Bears were number 1 in the NFL in rushing yards last season. Obviously you can get worse, I guess, possibly, but you can't abandon the run. A team that had the highest rushing numbers last season, you're not going to come back when you abandon the run, especially when you have a quarterback who's limited like Justin Fields.
It's true, but an argument can be made that, yes, you led the league in rushing, but you also led the league in losses. So what's the goal? What's the goal? that's not a point in its favor. Oh, we want to get back to running the ball. Well, that didn't work last year. In fact, it didn't work at all because you were the worst team in the league and you got the number one pick. So
how often is Justin Fields throwing you out of a deficit, though? He's not.
Right.
He's never throwing you out of a deficit.
I agree. So what do you do at this point? Do you just let him run around, get banged up, win 3 or 4, maybe 5, 6 games? You miss out on Caleb Williams. What do you? There's no good situation here. You missed on Fields. He's not the guy. You can run the ball as much as you want, but that doesn't equal wins. So as a Bear fan, like, what do you want to see?
Can I share something with you I saw today that was interesting, and I'm trying to figure out what I think of it. Okay. Justin Fields through 27 career starts. Gives his completion percentage, passing yards, rushing yards, combined touchdowns, passer rating, turnovers. Okay? What if I told you Mitch Trubisky through 27 career starts? Every single one of those categories, he has better numbers.
I saw that comparison. Trubisky's better in pretty much every category except for rushing.
Every category, completion percentage, passing yards over 1,000 yards more.
Yeah.
Rushing yards, not as many rushing yards.
Well, obviously.
Combined TDs, combined TDs are the same, higher passer rating, and less turnovers.
A lot of TDs for Fields is rushing. Those aren't passing TDs.
Right, combined TDs. Yeah. And there's at 37 and 36. We'll call it the same.
Yep.
So I don't know how I'm processing that because I've talked before. I want to be a supporter of Justin Fields. I'm getting to the point now I can't defend him. When you watch those games and how long he's in the pocket and there is no plan and, he's missing 5-yard outs to DJ Moore. Simple.
And he's got 5 yards too. Like the offensive line, I know the offensive line sucks, but there are times, again, I've seen it. They've shown clips on Twitter. Like they're like, this is ample enough time to make decisions. Like the offensive line is holding up and he's not seeing it or he's not letting it loose. Or if he's not seeing it, then he's not running. And I think they're really trying to make him a pocket passer because they know running doesn't equate to wins. So I think now, going into week 3, if you're the Chiefs, after hearing what Fields said, regardless of what play comes in, Fields is completely saying, I'm going to abandon pretty much everything that the coaches have told me about checking down reads and things like that. And I'm going to use my athleticism and athletic ability to make plays. And Kansas City's like, great. You do that. We're not going to let you run. And we'll take our chances with you throwing on the run or trying to make plays because you also haven't proven that you can really do that either. So I really think, they weren't expecting to win this week, but I think Fields really should stick to the plan and really try to figure out to be a pocket passer, because if he just resides himself to do what he did last year, it's great. You have 1,000 yards rushing. What do you have to show for it? Nothing. Mm-hmm. And you're severely injured at the end of the season, and you're going to have a career of 4 to 5 years. So the smart thing for Fields to do, in my opinion, would be to shut up. Stop blaming the coaching, be a leader, keep your mouth shut, and work on some of these things. If you want longevity in this career, it's not through your legs, okay? That's not, it's through your arm, and it's right here. It's between the eyes. So understand, look at film. Why am I not seeing these progressions? Why am I not being able to do my secondary and tertiary reads? And if they are open, why am I not letting it rip? Is it a confidence issue? What is going on? I think he needs to do a lot of self-assessment because the film doesn't lie. It's shown. This is good protection. These guys are open. Let it rip, Justin. He's not doing it. There's a problem there. Some of it's coaching. You're right. Both things are true. They have shitty coaching. They don't have a good offensive line. Their defensive coordinator is in hot water right now. It's a complete shit show at Hallis Hall, but he is not executing, and he is and there are opportunities for him to do so, and he's either incapable of doing it, or he's just choosing not to because maybe he feels like this coaching or this strategy is taking away his athletic ability, which it is. But I think the coaching is trying to preserve him because he barely was held together. You saw him at the end of last season. It was a freaking nightmare. He could barely walk. So I think they're thinking of him.
We know how he is outside of the pocket, rolling to the right, rolling to the left. He's highly more successful out there. To get to your point briefly, John, about the whole Caleb Williams thing, I don't need to talk about it too long, but I don't care to get another great quarterback until the coaching is fixed, until they sell the team. I don't believe
it's ownership.
That the ownership will do anything. If you gave them Patrick Mahomes, if you gave them a generational quarterback, they would murder them. They would kill them. They would shoot their confidence. They would do everything to make sure that they just wouldn't succeed in any kind of offense that they ran. So until that happens, I the whole tank for Caleb Williams, I don't care because they will do the same thing. I don't know how good Trubisky could have been. I know he wasn't that great. He only played 13 games in college. I don't know. I thought Justin Fields was really good. He went to a national championship in college.
He looked awesome at Ohio State. He also had some of the best receivers in college football, like several of them.
I understand. It's just I don't see anything happening until the house is cleaned out.
I know, and that's never
going to
be
the same thing over and over
they're
again.
They're never going to sell the team. Ever.
No, the McCaskies would never let that go. There's no reason to.
But my thing is, why not? I mean, I keep using the Cubs and Tom Ricketts, but like, he finally got an owner that wanted to win, and he found someone in Theo Epstein that was able to build a team. Why can't the McCaskies find someone who knows what they're doing?
Bro, because they're old people. They're just old people that are stuck in their ways. They're not going to try anything new,
that's
anything
what starts.
innovative.
Ryan Poles clearly doesn't know what he's doing. It's like, get someone in there who knows what they're doing. But I think you're right. I think they don't know what to look for. They have absolutely no idea, and they're never going to sell the team, which sucks.
No.
Like, why be a Bear fan, dude? If I let's say hypothetically, I grew up in Chicago, and let's say I wasn't a Packer fan, I would have fucking bailed on this team so long ago, and I wouldn't care. Yeah. I wouldn't have cared. People are like, "Oh, you're a bandwagon fan." I'm like, this organization is trash. If the ownership makes absolutely no effort in trying to make a quality team and putting the right pieces in place to do so, I'm not supporting this team. I'm not watching them. I'm not buying their merchandise. I'm not doing it. I would have bailed so long.
That's what I appreciate about Philly and this whole culture of people that live here is they don't blindly, love their team. They will boo their team when they suck.
The Bears are there.
You're not making shots.
The Bears are certain
when you're not scoring. They will boo you. That's not what it's. They have an expectation from their team, and they'll let you hear it. So, yeah, and you know what? I see the comments on Twitter, and they're like, if you bailed on this team in week 2, you're not a fan. Fuck you, dude. You're a loser. You're an idiot if you think this is going to turn around magically. You're not old enough to know how this has gone for the last 30 years. You're just ignorant. So, no, that doesn't make you're a bad fan. Fuck that team. You're not doing anything to win me over as a fan, to get my 3.5 hours on a Sunday to watch and support your team, buy your merch. Get out of here.
Yeah, and it sucks because it's the only game that's on at 3:30 in the afternoon. It's Bears Chiefs, and I'm gonna have to watch it, and it's just gonna be a nightmare.
All right, John.
I'm so sorry, dude. I'm sorry. This is another. I mean, after week 1, I mean, 2 weeks into the season, we're talking about tanking for Caleb Williams. Like, it's such.
It'll continue to happen.
It's such a long season, but it's just such a bummer for Bear fans. I mean, I have friends and family who I care about, and it just bums them out. Do I have fun as a Packer fan making fun of them? Yes. Do I do it incessantly as much as I possibly can? Yes. It's hilarious, and it's fun, and it's entertaining for me. But there is another part of me that does genuinely feel bad for them because it sucks. It's such a bummer. They get so excited for the NFL season, and then by week 3, it's like it's just like the ultimate depression. I feel bad. So And the front offices, they have a lot of issues. So
outside of Jason Kelce and DeAndre Swift, there's another Kelce Swift storyline that people are talking about, John.
rumor has it that
Rumor confirmed
by Jason Kelce that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are dating.
brothers of.
I'm trying. So, what is the next song on her breakup album, or will this relationship stick? Knowing her history, conventional wisdom says absolutely not. But we'll get some great content out of it on her next album.
Best case scenario, she is a huge distraction for him, and the Chiefs tumble without Travis Kelce because we know how important he is to that offense. Saw it in week one. We understand it's just week one, but Patrick Mahomes without Travis Kelce, that is a different Chiefs team. We all know it. We all seen it. So, best case scenario, Taylor Swift, huge distraction. Number two, they are not. Okay, I know we talk about sports, but this is like pop culture. They do not look like a good couple. Okay, Travis Kelce is more edgy. He's his stylistic is a little, it's different. He's not the kind of soft-spoken, creative, twinky kind of guys who she would go for, right?
I'm surprised.
She dated all the skinny little twinks.
I'm surprised she's into him. Like that, I'm surprised that
Yeah.
I totally understand why he would date her. Totally get Travis Kelce. But like I don't know what she sees in him. Like I'm surprised of like considering her history, John Mayer,
Right.
several other
Twinky
people.
guys.
Yeah.
Skinny little twinks. Hairless. Yeah.
Maybe she's going maybe she's like, all right, this hasn't worked in the past. Let me try something new.
Yeah, I think PR, not saying it is a PR stunt, but it definitely does play a role. I think that really adds value. And obviously everyone's talking about it. We're talking about
People will
it.
fucking flip out if they see her at a Chiefs game. Like if she's in some suite, people are gonna go nuts.
I posted that. I posted a video of Brittany Mahomes freaking out when she was in the family suite.
Dude, that could be the reason of the breakup. Is like how annoying Brittany Mahomes is. My God, jeez, I wouldn't be able to I wouldn't be able to hang out with her for more than 5 fucking minutes. Like, if there's gonna be a breakup between Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, it's gonna be because they go on double dates, and Taylor's gonna be like, I can't date you anymore because I can't spend 2 more minutes with Brittany. She's so annoying.
So speaking of the breakup, John, we came up with the ending lyric to one of the songs. I don't have a title for the song, but the last lyrics of the song would be, "And that night the stars were so large, but honey, you no longer are the chief in charge."
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Not too. I mean, I know it's only 2 lines, but you got to throw something with the Chiefs in there. Yeah. Did you come up with anything?
No.
Come on, it's improv.
I know. I was gonna be like,
you could play off like the like I see, you see.
I was gonna
Kelce.
be like, it's Brittany Holmes. I'm not the problem. It's Brittany Holmes instead of it's me.
Yeah.
It's Brittany Holmes. I'm not the problem. It's Brittany Holmes. She's the problem.
Yeah.
Because there's gonna be a lot of double dates, and that would get old super quickly. I mean, you're a married man, like. I'm sure your wife has a friend who she likes, and you had to go out to dinner, and you had to talk with the husband, and fucking 2 minutes into that dinner, you're just like, this is going to suck. Like, this is not going to be fun. We have nothing in common.
They treat you like little kids when they get like their husbands together. Literally, word for word, this is it. It's, oh, hey, he likes baseball too. And like, I'm like, I don't fucking care. Like, who cares? He likes baseball. I like baseball. But like, it was like, oh, you guys both like baseball.
Right.
Go talk.
Right. Yeah. And they just like hope, like as far as like your personality or anything else, it's like, oh, you like this and he likes this, so you guys should be best friends. And that's literally how they think. That's like how primitive their thought process is. Like, like, you like football and he likes hunting. Like, those are both like outdoor stuff. And you're like, no, not.
You like boar's head salami, right? Oh, he does too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's like, No, my wife's pretty good about it because I'm pretty open about how I feel about people. So I'll do it one time, and then that drive home, I'm like, we're not doing
Never
that. Like,
again.
not
Yeah,
it's
we're
not
not doing
happening
that.
again. Sorry.
I'm
Like
busy.
my free time, we're getting a bait. Like someone's watching our son. Like we're spending a lot of money on a nice dinner. Like not happening. I
Yeah.
I get one shot.
Yeah, I always blame it on work. I'm just like, yeah, I'm working. I got stuff I got to get done. So
I
it's
try,
always a
but
good
like
excuse.
there's certain times where I'm like, it doesn't happen often, but with the time it does,
Sure.
it's like, oh god. So
John, you know who is a cool guy? Is Deon Sanders. He's
Prime,
probably the coolest guy.
Coach Prime.
Yeah.
All right, so
John, is he good for college football?
well, that's the question. So, is he good for college football? So, for those of you who have been living under a rock, he started at Jackson State, a historically black college, won a couple championships there. Brought his two sons. One of his sons is a quarterback, with the other son, I think, is a corner defensive back. Brought them over to Colorado, and his first day at Colorado, he came in and talked to the team and said, "Listen." Because now they have the transfer portal, they're like, I'm bringing in about 54 of my own guys from Jackson State, and a lot of you guys are not going to be playing on the team. So if you guys want to transfer, feel free to go. But I kind of already know who my team, like what my team is, which seems a bit harsh coming in hot, just saying like a lot of you guys aren't going to have jobs. So if you guys want to transfer, go ahead.
But that's how you weed out the weak-minded people. Because he even talked in the interview.
He talked in the interview in 60 minutes.
My words,
he says if words
deter you away,
right? If words deter you away from competing for a job, then you don't need to be on this team. And so, it's a lot of tough love. It's pretty harsh, but you can't argue with the results. He's completely turned around that team. A couple huge wins. First week at TCU, beat Nebraska. Close game with Colorado State. So. The dude knows how to win. He knows how to motivate. And the other thing too, he recruited a lot of really good coaches from other schools to come with him. Like that's another thing no one talks about. Like there's some Alabama coach, there's a couple other coaches that are on his staff that are pretty well known and successful in their own right. Sorry, they're mowing our lawn outside. I think he's good for college football, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are going to start doing this. They're just going to take over and be like, just clean house. It's really like I don't know. I'm conflicted about it. I don't like that. You can't argue the results, but it's rough, man. It's rough. These are college kids. This isn't the NFL.
No, I thoroughly disagree with you on this whole thing. I think he is great for college football, right? What does everybody talk about? I don't even watch college football. I started watching college football this year. Who do I watch every Saturday? Colorado.
So
BetMGM
said more bets were placed on Colorado games than any other NFL team. It's not even close. Merchandise sales have gone up 800% for Colorado.
Yes.
It's crazy.
John, for the school, I think $18 million is what they got their first home game.
Yeah.
It's now it's the most expensive college ticket to attend a game.
It's like $300-$400 for students to get like a ticket. It's crazy.
The prime effect is real.
Yes,
he brings exuberance, excitement, quotes. He's highly quotable. Clips. He goes viral. Like that is the guy you bring to a failing team, and he turned them around. They haven't lost yet. Granted, here's the thing. Okay, so I think he is great. He is great. He brings money to the college who wasn't bringing in money, and they hired him without having that money. Did you know that they didn't have the money to pay him? Because they knew what he was going to bring, which is awesome. I think that's awesome. Taking it hitching your wagon onto a horse. Here's what I think though. There was a recent clip that just that got circulated about his sons and him talking about going to the NFL, and he said next year, no, you're not going to the NFL, because he knows he has is it a 10-year contract? I don't know how long his contract is.
He's been rumored as being the next coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
I don't believe that. But I know that once his children and his group of kids leave, Colorado is going to go significantly back to where they were after his guys leave.
I agree.
So that's why I think his children, he wants his kids, you're staying there. We're going to win. We're going to win this year. We're going to win next year. And then once they leave, I think then it's going to be very different when you're dealing with a different group of kids. But everyone wants to come play for him. So the recruiting is going to be insane. But what you said about him being an NFL coach, I know he came out and said, I do not want to coach NFL players because I can't motivate rich athletes, guys who make a lot of money. He can motivate college kids. And I think that's why Nick Saban and Urban Meyer were successful in college, but they weren't successful in the NFL because they can motivate college kids, but you can't motivate rich athletes who are grown men. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That brings me to an interesting question then. So that's really what Saban does well. You know, that's really what Deon does well. So what are the attributes? So those are the attributes that makes a successful college coach. What are the attributes that makes an NFL coach successful? Like why?
What are the attributes that make the NFL coach?
Yeah, successful. Like, okay, so we just pointed out, like, okay, the ability to motivate young players. You know what I mean? But in the NFL,
that would be for college right?
players. Excuse me. But in the NFL, you got a bunch of rich players. So how do you have success in the NFL? What are the attributes that you need to have? Like, why is Belichick so successful in the NFL? Why was Saban so bad in Miami and he was amazing in Alabama? It's because he couldn't motivate. He couldn't dictate. He couldn't control everything that was happening in Miami. You know what I mean? If you're paying a guy $18 million a year and he sucks and you don't think he should be a starter, too bad. The owner's paying him $18 million. He's going to play. So
the NFL is also very different from college,
of course,
right?
Why is Belichick super successful? Why is Sean Payton successful? What are some of the attributes that you think these coaches have if you can't strike fear in these players who are making multi-millions of dollars? What do you think it is?
I
don't know.
You have to. I obviously don't know. We haven't been in the NFL in years. So I think when you get players to buy into a system, the Patriot way, do your job, that kind of thing. When a coach can come in and implement a plan and says, guys, if we do this, this works. And then it does work, I think you win over grown men who believe the intelligence of the coaching staff that says, hey, guys, like if we do this, like we trust our coaches to put us in the right position. Like what we saw with like, even in the Super Bowl, that those little sweeps that Andy Reid ran against the Eagles that got them wide open. They saw that it happened in like week 4. They knew they were going to be susceptible to that. So little things like that, I think, help win over a locker room to say, like, guys, we know what the fuck we're doing. We're going to put you in the best situation possible for us to succeed. Yeah. And if a team sees that happen week over week or, season over season, I think you get respect. That way you don't have to hoot and holler. I don't got to motivate you. I just tell you, guys, this is what we need to do. You didn't do it. You missed your assignment here. This is why we suck. This is why this happened. And I guess that would be my guess.
Yeah, I agree. And I think coaching is more important in football than any other sport. I think head coaching, is really, really important in football. I think you really...
Head coaching? More so than like an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator?
Football in general, like the coaching in football. And that includes head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, schemes, being able to make adjustments. Baseball, I think, is... more front office. You need the horses and you need the right players and you need a lot of them. A manager, I think, can equate for 3 or 4 wins. A bad manager can definitely have a negative effect, a huge one. But a good manager doesn't, you could run the 27 Yankees out there and they're going to crush anybody that you have. Same thing with basketball. You have a couple stud NBA players. They can take over a game. I think coaching. So coaching really matters, and I think you really see it in the NFL. And I think that's why Belichick is so good. He's so prepared. He always talks about the war, the war is won, or the battle's won before the war or whatever. Like basically like we're prepared for everything. We know what they're going to run. We know when they're going to run it. We know, like that Chiefs game in the 2019 AFC Championship. They're like, Tyreek Hill's not going to beat us. Like, that's not going to happen. We're going to put 3 guys on Tyreek Hill. and he's not going to beat us.
Right.
Taking away your best asset, doing the little things like that, and getting the most out of your players. Like Wes Welker and Danny Amendola and all these types of guys for the Patriots. Brady even too. Like just understanding, like being able to draft, recognizing talent, and utilizing them in the correct scheme. Like creating a scheme and then having those players fit in there. I think that's what Belichick does the best. He creates a scheme, and then he's not looking. That line from Miracle, Herb Brooks with Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
He goes, remember that first practice? And they're like, you just cut, 25 of the best hockey players in the country. And he goes, I'm not looking for the best players. I'm looking for the right players. And that really makes me feel like that's exactly Belichick. Belichick is looking for the best players. He's looking for the right players that fit in his system, that does what he needs to do to win against this particular team. And he's so good because his strategy and scheme is vastly different depending on who he's playing, who's injured, who's playing right now, and his adjustments are incredible. So I think coaching is really the most important part in the NFL, and I think that's why Justin Fields partly is not having success in the Bears. They're just a debacle. They're not good on defense either because their coaching is really poor. But I also think he's limited as well. So yeah.
Going from bad teams to good teams, we're going to talk about the Cowboys.
So
I know you said
overrated. Don't believe the hype.
Don't trust Dak or their head coach, which is really important during playoffs. So John, I'm going to let you take it. The only thing I'm going to say is the Cowboys, I know, are a good team, but I'm not going to get ahead of myself in week 2 because they played 2 teams from New York, the Jets and the Giants. So that is not going to give me a good indication of when they meet adversity or when they play a very good team. So
yeah, I'm excited for them to play
thoughts.
the Eagles, but the Jets are pretty much a non-factor now without Brady. They're not going to be able to compete in that division. The Giants, there's a pretty impressive comeback for them, but I've never trusted Dak. I don't think Dak's good in big games, and also too, Mike McCarthy has a history of being really bad in big games, and I saw that for years with the Green Bay Packers. And his win-loss record would have looked a lot worse had he not had a Pro Bowl quarterback in Aaron Rodgers in his prime. He sits on leads. He doesn't make adjustments at the half. He's one of the worst coaches I've ever seen making halftime adjustments. Belichick being one of the best, I think McCarthy is one of the worst coaches to make halftime adjustments. And I saw that immediately with LaFleur. LaFleur, like certain things, like made adjustments. And take that week 1, like the 7-6 game with the Bears. Aaron Jones had 3 touches. What happened in the second half? Just fed the ball to Aaron Jones, and that was the game. Simple things like that. And I think LaFleur is good at that. He's getting better at it. But McCarthy doesn't do that. He does like Fields can't really survey the field and see things. McCarthy can. And I don't think McCarthy is that smart. I think Belichick's really smart. I think Sean Payton's really smart. Mike McDaniel, I think, is really, I think, the next great coach in the NFL. Whether he stays in Miami or not, that guy is legit, and he's really, really good, and he's buttoned up.
He also got a lot of good weapons.
He's got a lot of good weapons, too. No question about it. Talent, that's the other thing with the Bears, too.
Shouldn't
count. The Bears have a disparity of talent. They just don't have the horses. And you do need that. You need coaching, but you do need the horses. And I think the Cowboys have the horses, but I don't think they have the quarterback that they need to win to go deep in the playoffs. I don't trust him, and I definitely don't trust McCarthy, because I'll take Sirianni and I'll take Daboll a million times over than I'll take McCarthy. McCarthy is not good in big games. He makes a ton of mistakes, and his track record would be way worse had he not had a Pro Bowl quarterback in Aaron Rodgers bailing him out time and time again. And even look at the Packers in the playoffs with Rodgers. There's so many mistakes that he made and adjustments that he didn't make. So I don't like the talent wise. Cowboys are at the top. Micah Parsons, like Tony Paul, they're stacked. CeeDee Lamb, they have talent everywhere. But come time in the playoffs, when you have a lot of time to prepare, I don't believe in them, and I don't believe in Dak in big games.
Yeah, I don't think your offense takes any leaps and bounds going from Kellen Moore to your head coach calling plays. So I don't see any kind of difference there. They played two shitty teams so far. They looked really great. Obviously, can't take anything away from
but it's
that.
not a
And you
great
can only
litmus
play
test. I want to see them play Philly. How do they
Sure.
look against Philly?
Yeah, that happens in November, I
God,
believe.
that's late. Well, that's really
Yeah.
late.
We're going to wait. Gotta wait. John, more breaking news here. Apparently, the Bears legend, Charles Tillman, a.k.a. Peanut Tillman, he broke the news about Alan Williams to Matt Eberflus, Ryan Poles, and Kevin Warren. Eberflus cried and could not believe what had happened. Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren do not blame Eberflus for having Williams on his staff. There is possibly... These are all rumors. Possible child pornography.
Jesus.
And possible indicted on conspiracy and treason charges against the federal government and has been brought in by the FBI. So again, these are all rumors. None of these are confirmed at all. We're just kind of reading it as we're getting this information as it's coming. But yeah, I mean, neither one of those scenarios sounds good for anybody.
Good God. Not a great day for Chicago sports.
No.
Except for the Cubs winning.
Yeah,
Really hitch our wagon
that would
to
be
the
nice.
Cubs. Good God.
John, we have last thing I think is the biggest underdogs this week. Week 3 is about to start tomorrow. Biggest underdogs. We have 3 of the shittiest teams going up against 3 of the powerhouses.
Yes.
We got the Chicago Bears plus 12.5 against
I'll
the
take
Chiefs. The Cardinals plus 12 against the
I'll take
Cowboys.
that.
Giants plus 9
No.
against the 49ers.
From what I saw from the Giants last week, no. Mm-hmm. And the way that the Rams came back in that 49ers game, I'm not. I'm in on the Bears plus 12.5. I'm in the Cardinals plus 12 versus Cowboys. Not in on the Giants plus 9. In fact, I think I think the Giants. Is that in San Francisco?
I believe so.
Still.
I made a video earlier for work. I believe so. It was.
I'm not taking that one. Dable again. Talk about Dable. Dable's another guy who's a really smart coach, a guy who studied under Belichick, and a guy who's really good at making halftime adjustments. Really good at making halftime adjustments.
Yeah.
Obviously, down 20-0, came back and won. But even when the Packers played them last year, like against Rodgers, the way he used Barkley in the Wildcat and exposed LaFleur and the Packers' inability to stop the run, which they still have an issue with because they were up. They blew a 24-12 lead against Atlanta last week. He's really good at making halftime adjustments. I really believe in Dayball, and I really believe in the Giants. The Giants are a tough team. So plus 9, I'm not in on that. But the first 2, yes. I think the Chiefs are going to fucking smoke the Bears. I think Fields is going to be running everywhere, and I think he's going to get pounded. And I don't think it's really going to yield any points. It'll yield a lot of fantasy points, but not actual points, and certainly won't yield a win. And the Cardinals are just in complete disarray. And if that game's in Dallas, I think they crush them.
Looking to put in a teaser here. Why is this being difficult? I'm looking to put in a teaser. Let me see what it's going to come out to, because what I would do would tease all those games and just tease those numbers down, because I have no faith in the Bears, the Cardinals, or the Giants.
I have a little bit more in the Giants, but definitely not the first 2. Oh my God.
At home, I believe the 49ers have covered 7 straight at home. Like I said, I made a
Now you're
video
talking about the
earlier with
Bears
some
not having their
statistics.
defensive coordinator, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it looks like
Okay,
he has
so
some.
the Bears don't look great, and now they don't have their defensive coordinator, and their quarterback's basically telling the public that he's going to go rogue. Like, Good luck against the defending Super Bowl champs.
You can get this at plus 160, okay? You got the 49ers down to -4, okay?
Yeah.
You can get the Cowboys to -5.5, and you get the Chiefs to -6.5. Tell me who loses that.
Those are all pretty good.
All under a touchdown. Under a touchdown.
I don't know. What do you think?
I'm done betting on any kind of Bears games for them against them. I'm serious, dude. They're on the no bet list. I will have no.
Why are they on the no bet
Bears
list? Just
games.
because it just pains you to bet on them?
Double time. Yes, John. You lose
And
money,
you lose
and
time,
then you're watching.
And you got to watch the game.
Yeah, and your
I get
time,
it.
and I feel like a loser. So no, I'm not messing with losers anymore. I bet on good teams, and I bet against losers. So I'm not messing with any of that. I would not trust the Bears covering a touchdown against the Chiefs. Get the fuck out of here. Cowboys to win by 6 or more against the Cardinals, and then the 49ers at home against the Giants by 4. Dude, I just don't see how that loses.
I'll take that. I'll take +4.
At plus 160, I just don't see.
I'll take that.
I mean, that looks like easy money. I'm going to save that. I'm going to put something in there. All right, John. Cool. You got anything else for me?
That was it, man. Other than a little baseball news, the Tampa Bay Rays announced they'd be opening up a new ballpark in St. Petersburg in 2028 as part of a $6.5 billion development project. And I'll just share it with you because it looks pretty sweet, if I do say so myself. Where is it? Here we go. I mean, that looks super dope. That place looks awesome. I'm trying to boost it, but I don't know if I can.
St. Pete is also an awesome downtown area.
Yeah, and that
my in-laws had a place down there.
Sick.
Yeah.
And they're trying to do like a ballpark village, like the Cardinals, like build a bunch of stuff around it, which I think is a great way to get the community involved. Also, they have such.
Well, you have an exciting
that's
team.
The other
you
thing
should
too.
absolutely do that.
They have such a great product, and they're always good. So
yeah,
this is like the last piece of the puzzle, and then I think you're going to get a ton of fans. I think you'll get a lot of families bringing people down. Tropicana Field.
Who wouldn't want to hang out
is
there?
Depressing. It is dark, and it is depressing. Dumpy. Yes. Look at the light. Look at all the bright light. Like, this is what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
Who wouldn't want to hang out there on a 105-degree day in the middle of July?
Absolutely. I think this is the smartest thing. I'm so happy it got done. The Rays are freaking awesome, and they definitely deserve this considering how successful they've been with like little to no payroll. So I think it's awesome.
Yeah. Good for them. Good for us. Good for everybody.
For sure, man. Cool, man.
I think that'll do it.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll talk next week. It's not going to be great for the Bears. Packers play.
Who plays on Thursday?
Actually, it's a pretty good game. Next week's Packers-Lions, which I'm so pumped about. I'm having a buddy come over
for the Thursday game.
Yeah, Packers-Lions next Thursday.
Oh,
nice.
Gonna
be sick. This Thursday game is actually really good. Giants-Niners. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh, okay. It'll be
great. And it's in Levi Stadium.
Yes.
So we'll see. Hopefully, dude, it would be hilarious if the Bears beat the Chiefs. I mean, it's not going to happen, but like next week could be really, really fun. Or it could be like they lost 40-0, and we could talk about like how worse it's going to get.
There was a statistic that said teams that didn't cover and lost in weeks 1 and 2. I think it was like over 70% of the teams end up covering in week 3. Yeah. Again, this was some dude on TikTok. I don't know. I'd have to double check those numbers, but keep an eye out for teams that didn't cover in the first 2 weeks to cover in the second. But yeah,
man.
49ers roll that game, by 100. The way. Giants, I think they get shit down.
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. All right, buddy.
All right,
I'll talk to you next week, man.
Sounds good.
Peace.